A lovely, lovely good morning from Graz, Austria. You have no idea how happy I am to be with you this morning. Leap is one of the greatest events I have the honor to attend in mostly on a yearly basis. I'm very happy having been invited again this year, and I'm gonna try to create some optimistic outlook which is the right approach in times of challenges, to see opportunities and to generate some optimism. It's great being with you this morning, and it's great working within the whole region. It's a daily honor to see how amazing the innovators within Croatia and beyond act, and what they achieve, and the spirit which they expose. So very, very happy to be part of this great event today. Basically, it's not, we tend to be always looking at where we are and not where we're going. It's more important to run where the ball is, where the ball will be, than where it is. As a consequence, while the media is on a daily basis telling us how bad things are, we need to look beyond, we need to look ahead and seize opportunities. And that's what I'm going to do in the next 20 minutes, and that's what we should do. We, the dynamic entrepreneurial innovators, that's what we should do for a living, because that's the only opportunity we have. Basically, in times of disruption, it's the innovators, it's the creative minds, it's those who know where the ball will be, who have the biggest chance of success. In times of disruption, it's actually the ideal situation for the proper disruptors. It's our time. This may sound cynical, but it's true. We need to seize this opportunity, and we need to make something out of it. And as much as Banksy made something out of the right timing, you need to not just place a product on the market, you need to place the product on the market, you need to place the innovation on the market at the right time. Timing is key, and so was the case. The same was the case with this picture. One of the biggest assets of startups, and that's why I'm very optimistic and why I think that things will be all right for us and the world, is the ability to be agile, to adopt, to like this lovely animal, to blend into our surrounding and to thereby make a difference. That is key. That's why I'm very, very open-minded and optimistic what the future is concerned. But only if we blend in well, and only if we stay agile, and only if we seize the moment, and only if we address the serious, I'm going to come back to that, the big stuff, will we be successful, and will we be able to create a better planet? Because creating a better planet and creating a better world as a consequence is pretty much what we should aim for. Everything else is just small beer. We live in times where the big problems also address the big business, and we want to do both. You want to do the morally as well as the economically right. So agility and seizing of opportunities is key to our business. While entrepreneurs, billionaire entrepreneurs tend to build big rockets in order to impress others, maybe girls, I don't know. I'm actually more fascinated by people who describe their visions, who dream for a different reality and who are able to kind of imagine their own world, because this is the basis. This child's brain is something which we should keep up and which we should redevelop within ourselves in order to explore our opportunities, to explore our limits, and as a consequence really change things for the better for us and others. That's what the business of the future is about. It's not just about kicking out the next crappy idea which no one needs but everybody wants. It's about bringing stuff which everybody needs. So, and while everybody is always talking about the lack of money, I would like to talk more about the importance of energy here, because it's energy which moves visions into reality, and capital, and I really love this sentence, it's absolutely part of most of my presentations. Capital is just a form of converted energy. So first you need to have a lot of energy within yourself and your team, and then capital will blend into the idea generation and idea implementation. Everything which we do is basically to drive an idea. Everything you, me, my team, and all innovators globally do is to drive ideas and inventions into innovations. What does an innovation mean? It means that an invention was an idea, a vision was placed on the market successfully. And this is actually pretty hard, pretty tough way. Having an idea is just one piece of this these five elements. And of course, there is ways to cut corners. I've given you an idea here, but in general, it's a pretty tough process, which takes overall, in order to really hit the market properly, historically about 50 years. We've reduced this a lot, and this is also one of our opportunities at the moment and for the next years, that innovation cycles have really reduced from 50 years down to a few years, and that is our asset and our opportunity. Something which is also key when interacting, I'm talking about my experience when interacting with startups, I'm talking about my own experience. Basically, what really coins successful innovators and startups is the capability of forming a team which collaborates, which works together. And this is the biggest challenge, because all life long we are told to be competitive. We are told to be better than others. We are never told to work together with others in order to create something which is better than what we could do alone. So what space can teach us, what the International Space Station can teach us, is that something which one nation would never be able to achieve alone, which is the creation of such an amazing technical structure as the one you see here, flying above 400 kilometers above us every 90 minutes. You see, go on ciss.com and you can see it at night. You see the most beautiful symbol of collaboration. And that's exactly what we need to do down here on Earth as well. Because that's the only way actually to really tackle the global challenges. Actually, the current global challenge, which I'm not going to talk about, but you know what I mean, is giving us the very clear idea that we as innovation players, we as those who know how to do it and who have visions which we want to drive into the market and into society, we need to really unite together and not just address things like the next filter for our social media app, which give us a beautiful holiday tab. You know, I'm really annoyed by all these filter apps and filter startups. I want to get the real stuff, which really changes things for the better. So we need to go for a global collaboration, intellectually and physically, in order to make a difference to our planet and, as a consequence, to ourselves. Doing so requires to have a proper eye for the big problems and for the bigger picture. Because whenever you address the big problems at the moment, and this is a beautiful time, there is much less competition than in the holiday filter app area. We don't need the next app which gives you a fancy tab. We need to address the real deal. We need to address stuff which, in order to change, needs more than just a bit of a programmer. We need to address the things which really make a difference for the next decades, not for the next year. And this will create a completely different planet, this will create a completely different society. So always address the big problems. The main reason for that also is, in the big problems there's less competition, and people like you or me, we are better if we can really make a difference without competing against others, but collaborating. And it's also about seizing opportunities. You know, whenever you develop a startup, and we all want to do that successfully, it's about seizing opportunities. It's about aiming high, taking risks, and doing the jump. It's about the right timing and taking the opportunity, taking the bridge when it's there. And I'd like to think that this lovely goldfish is jumping into freedom out of some terrible work condition, jumping away from a dodgy superior or from a miserable life into something better, where his or her dreams are enabled to become reality. So let's hope that this fish is jumping into some bigger water and seizing the proper opportunity. And let's hope that we will manage, with our ideas, visions and energies, to change our lives and thereby the lives of others as well. What I think is key in order to be successful in our business, no, I'm convinced that this is key, is to ask others for help. You know, it's not enough to collaborate, it's not enough to seize opportunities, it's not enough to have energy. It's absolutely key to ask others for help. And the beautiful thing is that there is players like me, but there's also other good guys around in your region, around the world, who are as incubators supporting players like you. So we're supporting people who already have an idea, who already are on the road to create a startup, as well as people who are actually looking for support in order to find ideas, as well as people who are great team members and who want to work for a startup. Incubators like the one I'm running are doing exactly that, and there is an incredibly powerful network which I'm very, very proud to be part of, which is the European Space Agency's Business Incubation Network, which is spanning all over Europe and actually forms the biggest startup support network in the world. And do feel free to contact any of us. Probably Isabik Austria, located in Graz, is the closest, or do feel free to contact any other incubator. We are good, but we are not the only ones. So really ask for help. There is people who know how to get your business off the ground. We do this on a daily basis. Sometimes we fail like everybody, but mostly we make a difference in terms of success rate. You know, at the moment everybody's talking about digital transformation. Everything is just digital. The conditions we are living in, the problems we are facing are not digital, they're real. And we've been in the last decades always been told that digitalization is the future and is key, but now we realize that it really is an important issue to address, and we did not do well until now. Because do you actually know when the first online presentation took place? In 1968. Done by Douglas Engelbart, who in Stanford did the first 50 kilometer transfer online presentation. So 50 years ago. And now we've, after more than half a year, managed to finally get our Zoom right. So that shows us actually how weak we are in applying technologies. Of course, you are good. I'm quite cool with Zoom as well. I was from the first moment on, by the way. But as a society, we take so long. And that's actually why it's so important to act on things such as climate change, such as inequality, such as anti-democratic behavior, because it takes a while to tackle down. The trickle-down effect is actually here taking forever. And if we don't, for example, given that we are currently facing presidential elections in certain countries, if we don't take care when it comes to undemocratic behaviors, if we don't take care today, this is going to haunt us tomorrow. Because innovation cycles, in every piece of society take quite a while. The problems, you don't see them today. The problems we create today, we don't see tomorrow. We see them days after tomorrow. Douglas Engelbart addressed something which we are now about to implement properly. This talk is not just for those who have a startup. This talk is also for those who have a vision. This talk is also for those who have a vision to create a startup, but not yet an idea. I respect all of them. I respect all of you. There's probably more people here who want to create something, who want to make a difference on the market and to society, but who don't know so well yet how to. This is normal, this is okay. We are not an innovation culture yet, but we need to get there. We need to allow ourselves to generate ideas on a daily basis. Most of them are not good enough for the market, but we need to get creative again and allow ourselves to really seize opportunities. And basically what I always, when people approach me saying that they have so much entrepreneurial spirit, but no idea yet, and they mostly feel ashamed, I tell them there's no need to be ashamed. There's just, this is the model I work with, there's 5 sectors which they should look at, where they should kind of change processes for the better or go for disruptive ideas and approaches. But there's basically 5 sectors which make up our world. Everything else is kind of is trickling down from there. It's agriculture. Look at agriculture. Try to find opportunities there. Look at education. It's absolutely paramount to all of us. Look at energy and environment. Look at mobility. And most importantly, not just today, but always, look at health. Mental health, physical health, everything. Mental health even especially important today. And if you look at all that, basically you realize that you're already kind of really working towards a different future. And it's actually the future which we should worry about, much more than the present. Agriculture, there will be low carbon farming to look at. There's food security, there's precision farming, satellites supported precision farming, really cool stuff. There's smart distribution, there's handling of waste, reduction of waste, there is e-fuels. There is so many beautiful things to work with and work on. So look at agriculture. Look at education, the use of technology and how to transfer knowledge. But most importantly, let's look at education from an entrepreneurial perspective, because education is not making entrepreneurs. Education is basically creating individuals to function for society. And people who function for society are never good entrepreneurs. You need to keep the crazy element within you in order to be good as an innovator. So basically, let's not just look at education in terms of textbooks or internet connections. Let's look at education in order to really kindle an entrepreneurial society as a whole. Energy and environment, one of my heartbeat topics, which I love, which I work on a daily basis. Basically, this is huge. You know, if we don't fix our energy situation, it's like a startup without money. Society without a proper green energy structure is like a startup without money. You run out of fuel. This is never doing you well. So we'll have to go for a global approach, like in everything which we do here. Health, of course, will be not just coined by virological issues, rather not so much, although it does look like the most important thing today. But you know, the most important thing tomorrow will be things like predictive medicine. It will be data banks. It will be high performance computing. And it will be fusing all that together in order to be much way ahead in predicting situations, pandemics, but especially personal health crisis. The future will be holding options to tell people more or less precisely when they might suffer a heart attack, so you can intervene before. Currently, we're just fixing problems. And never really solving the background situation. But in the future, medicine, as much as everything else in our society, will have to take care of things before they happen. And one of the most important elements, and we experience today what the lack of mobility what a lack of social interaction, because mobility is very much the basis for social interaction, what a lack of mobility does to us. This is not just, it's not what we miss today is not just seeing people. What we miss today is having the capability of going from A to B unlimited. The reason why I'm standing in Graz is a limited mobility. I would love to be in Zagreb today. I would love to be with you this morning, but limited mobility does not allow me to come and join you. As a consequence, mobility will be even more important tomorrow than it was yesterday. Of course, today it feels like the one thing which we lost so much. And we will have to make sure that and this is a contradiction, this is something which sounds like a contradiction to some, but we will have to travel faster in the future, we'll have to go further, and we'll have to do so, and this is possible. I assure you this is possible. We'll have to do all that more sustainably. Mobility will be one of the core future-oriented dimensions which we need to take a look at. And of course, I already mentioned the element of sustainability, the responsibility to protect our environment for us as well as future generations is paramount. There is no debate that this is absolutely key to our societies as well as our economy's future. It has become an economic issue that we did not take good care of our planet in the past. And it will be becoming a much bigger issue than the one we are currently in if we don't tackle climate change and if we don't pivot now. You know, this is like the macroeconomic model of Earth, the way we treat it today, is basically it's very similar to the situation which we're in at the moment in terms of virological behaviors. We need to really pivot, like a startup needs to pivot. When things go wrong, you need to change. We need to change here in order to we need to change towards a more sustainable structure. And we need to do that not just for the sake of us. We need to do that really for the better of humanity. By the way, for the better of humanity is also the motto of the European Space Agency. Everything it does, everything it looks at from above, is done for the better of humanity, for the better of all of us, not just for the better of the European Union or European countries. It is made for the better of the whole planet. And of course, only the big stuff, only the big problems are capable of making a difference. So always look at the big issues. And I'd like to close with basically by telling you that you're all astronauts. All of you, probably everybody is fascinated by space travel and astronauts. And actually all of you are. You know why? Because while our bodies may be bound by gravity, our souls, our minds and our visions are not. So you're all astronauts. I thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Have a lovely rest of the day. All the best.